Hello, everybody, and happy Friday. It is feeling like a Friday. My feet are already on the table. We haven't even started the show yet, and we had a chaotic conspiracy theory debate 2 seconds before. But anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes Podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Petey and Craig for our last show in Arizona before we depart for Nashville, and I think we have to. We've been saying it all week.
Oh.
We have to crack open wows, ice cold wows that Petey brought from home because
they're literally ice cold.
We do not
Let's
even
put them
have
in the
wows
ice
in our
box.
office because they don't make it more than a day because everyone drinks them. So
Can I toast?
Cheers.
yeah,
Can
you
I
make a toast?
Can I toast to the first official PHNX Coyotes mock draft?
Oh,
Here we go.
Cheers, everyone. It's 11 a.m.,
Oh
but
my
whatever
God.
whatever you need
Yeah.
to get through the day.
Yes.
It's such a good light beer.
And
isn't it?
with that little hint of orange, it makes it's almost like a breakfast beer. You can
Delicious.
make it a breakfast beer.
I feel like you're setting us up for something.
We'll later. Wow.
Okay.
Thank you, Petey.
I said wow.
You did say wow.
And that was totally
Thank you for
granular.
bringing them in.
Day drinking.
Roaring Fork said, "Where's the mesh?" If you were in the Discord, you know. Man, was that a conversation this morning at 7 o'clock that I woke up to. But anywho, lots to get into today. We're going to do our mock drafts.
That's right.
Keyword.
We'll
there
do
is
our
mock.
Friday fun day, talk a little travel, talk some weekend binge. So we'll get into all of that ahead of next week's draft in Nashville. But before we do, we got to get the business and the poo-poo news out of the way first.
Poo-poo news.
Yeah, that's the only thing I
Calling
can
it poo-poo news.
It's
That
not
might-
about a bathroom.
That might stick.
It's not about the bathroom, as Craig and Petey have somehow made it about all week
I'm sorry,
on the
folks.
show.
Today we have some poo-poo news for you.
We do.
We're going to use that again. Definitely going to use that again.
You're going to tweet that next time there's like breaking. There's some poo-poo news I have to share. All right, let's get into it. Gary Bettman, yesterday, the Board of Governors met in New York. Gary Bettman met with Elliotte Friedman after the meetings to discuss what was discussed in the Board of Governors meetings. And the biggest thing to come out of these meetings, or at least the most talked about thing, is that teams will not wear specialty jerseys this upcoming season. Gary Bettman said, quote, "It becomes a distraction." He went on to say, "Efforts and emphasis on the importance of these various causes have been undermined by the distraction in terms of which teams and which players are wearing or not wearing." But he went on to say, "Pride nights will stay. All the specialty nights will continue. The only difference is teams will not wear these specialty jerseys in warmups. They'll still be produced. They'll still be sold. Players can model them if they so choose. But that is what will happen going forward into the season." Who wants to start on this
I'll
one?
hand it to Craig.
Mine is more of a summation, so I'm actually going to...
Yeah,
The
I
truth
know
is-
Throw it
Petey
right back
feels
at you.
strongly. Yeah.
What? Like literally what? I don't understand this. We upset the whole apple cart because of the thoughts of a few players, and I mean a few. And we got
It's
to the
not just
point.
the players. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Whole lot of bigots on social media.
Just
These times reveal them.
my goodness. So we can't have Darth Vader night anymore. We can't have military night. We can't have Lucky Charm night. We can't
Well, you
I
can
know
have
you can have the night, but
the
you can't have
nights
the
are
jersey.
happening. Yeah.
But I don't understand where the anger and the vitriol comes in over representing and wearing a jersey for 15 minutes. I don't understand that. I don't understand where the anger comes from. Like one way or the other. Like
I just said it. Sorry. You can make all the excuses. Like you hear people say, well, do they have a heterosexual night? No, because that's not a marginalized group under attack from half the nation. That's the difference. It's pretty freaking clear. It's bigotry. Sorry. You want to make another argument? I'm just going to look at you and say, okay, I know you're a bigot now.
Here's what upsets me about it, because when all this first happened, and first of all, we've been doing these jersey nights for years.
So is this Pride Night? Are we all in agreement
It's
this is
about
because
Pride
of Pride Night?
Yeah.
This
Of
isn't
course, yeah.
because
About
of
Pride Night.
military night or
No, it wasn't about
Hockey
military
Fights
night.
Cancer night,
Right.
which are all gone.
All gone.
Or breast cancer
No, it was
awareness.
all
Breast cancer
about
awareness
pride.
gone.
It's all about pride.
St. Patrick's Day green jerseys gone.
No, indoctrinating children or grooming
all of
them
that's
or
gone,
Whatever
and we-
was speaking
So this
of
is all about Pride Night.
bizarre
This Pride Night.
conspiracy theories that are out there in the Twitterverse and elsewhere.
Yeah. So that's what this is really about. And so now we lose
Yep.
this Now we lose everything
All
else.
of it.
Like, look at what the Vancouver Canucks do to honor the, like, Native heritage in British
Indigenous
Columbia.
people of BC,
Yeah, Indigenous people. Look at what the Coyotes did to honor, like, with the I can't remember what they're called, but with the Black Excellence jerseys or whatever it is.
People had issues with those too.
I know.
Not to this level, but they had issues with those.
I know. Yeah, the freaking Star Wars jersey, like whatever you want to come up with.
It's all gone.
It's all gone because of this one thing. And here's the thing: when this was kind of a storyline of the 22-23 season. And I think a lot of people were saying, oh, the media is making it about the people who aren't wearing it rather than all the people who are. And that was definitely a storyline.
Sure.
Well, guess what? The NHL is now putting their money where their mouth is and is making it about the 8 people that aren't wearing it because they're
not
now
wearing it.
It's like you can't, it's like children fighting over toys, and instead of like sorting out the fighting, it's like, well, now you don't get toys. It's like, that's the thing that bothers me, because now they've made it about the 8 people by taking it away from everybody.
Yeah, and but they made it about a chunk of the fan base too, right? That complain loudly about it.
Yeah.
So they're catering to that as well. And again, that side of the fan base simply doesn't understand when they make arguments like, well, we don't have a heterosexual. Like, you're right. They're not marginalized. That they're not under attack. They're not facing bigotry.
Yep.
That's the difference. Plain and simple. Let's cut through all the bullshit. This is bigotry. Sorry. Done. So sick of it.
Yeah. And Kenny says they're paid to play hockey, not promote something else. Technically, they are paid. You look at the jersey ads, the helmet ads.
Promote other things.
We have OGs to sponsor, and no one.
Look at
people
what
here
look at
loves
our
OGs.
shirts.
People love OGs here. I don't imbibe in OGs, but it's not. I don't care if you do. I don't. But they're still a sponsor of ours, and I don't walk off the stage when I read an OG's ad.
Yep. But here's the thing. Like, I'll take this step. Like, Gary Bettman talked about efforts, right? It's undermining the efforts. You can make the argument that jerseys, in a sense, are sort of performative, right?
Sure.
It's nice for people in the LGBTQ community to come to a game and see that. It's a representation of, okay, I am welcome somewhere. But it is a bit performative. If you're going to make that statement as the commissioner of the NHL, okay, let's see some real substantive effort in that community. There are events that teams host, right? That they do things in the community with different groups. Some of that, to be honest, I feel like is, forgive me for being a cynic, it's marketing for the franchise as much as anything, which is a big reason I don't write about a lot of that stuff when teams do it, because they want the publicity as much as they're actually making an effort in the community. You want to do something? Let's see some substantive efforts. If you take that step, then I'll be okay with the elimination of jerseys, but I want to see you follow up on that and actually do something rather than just talk about it. We talk a lot. America's very performative. We talk a lot about social justice on social media. How many of these fucking people are actually doing something?
Yep. And the thing also about, some people were saying, well, the cause nights are still going on, and that's true. But a lot of the times they were auctioning off these jerseys, and because they're game worn, like I can go buy, just a regular Pride Night jersey off the rack if I wanted to, but for some fans, it's really important to know, like, hey, Clayton Keller wore this jersey. Like, that's, and the Clayton Keller jerseys would be auctioned off, for example, for over $1,000 because it was Clayton Keller worn versus maybe, I don't want to say name, but like a 4th line player, maybe that one would go for $600. But there was something to the fact that they were worn by players. So now it's like, and that money was going to charities. And again, they're going to be for sale. The money will still be for charity. And listen, like, we can disagree. I can see there's some people in the chat who don't necessarily agree. That's fine. But this is the stance that we have here on this show. I think a lot of us are feeling very disappointed about this decision. And I saw that a lot among many online yesterday, at least among some media members that I follow. I did see that there will be a launch of the NHL Player Inclusion Coalition. That's being launched next week in Nashville. I don't really know more about it. I tried to look. Well, I'm sure we'll find out more next week. So that, I guess, was the follow-up to this decision. But yeah, I think it's just disappointing. And it's disappointing in terms of growing the game and accessing more young fans. And there is something too when you go to a game and it's a specialty jersey. Like in the AHL, they do specialty jerseys
And wear them for the game
all the time. And they're so fun. It's fun.
Yep.
Like make the game fun, grow the
Those
game,
jerseys,
make it more
the
inclusive.
Pride jerseys last year were cool, if you remember
The
that.
Coyotes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were
amazing.
And by the way, they were made at the last minute.
Really?
Yeah. And we'll tell you the whole story, but they were made at the very last minute.
Well, they did a great job.
Yeah, they were incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just disappointing. I guess that's all there is to say about it.
Yep.
If anyone
We've said our piece.
Yep, we've said our piece. But also at the Board of Governors meeting, so NHLPA Director Marty Walsh appeared in front of the board.
Gasp.
Which you might hear that and say, okay. Well, the reason it's crazy is because this has not been done since Paul Kelly in 2007. So it's been, almost 20 years since the last time someone from the NHLPA appeared in front of the board. Do you have any
Oh, I got a lot.
insight?
Like,
Okay.
first of all, like, I don't know if you saw Frank Saravalli's tweet this morning. Like, there's a lot of discontent in the NHLPA ranks overseeing this. Marty Walsh appearing in front of a BOG meeting. Imagine, well, first of all, isn't that the state of the country right now? Just at odds over everything. Imagine having the gall to actually have a dialogue with someone on the other side of an argument. And that's what's getting people upset. Now it's like, oh my God, he's in bed with Jeremy Jacobs, the owner of the Boston Bruins. It's never going to go well. They never should have hired him. It's a dialogue. Dialogue's important. We should be talking to one another. It's just astounding to me, the state of things, that automatically comes under scrutiny, is under attack because he's actually there.
The reality is, Craig,
meeting.
If people who enjoy hockey, and I think that if you're listening to us right now, you probably do, and I know our livelihood depends on it. If you want that to continue without a work stoppage, one way or the other, and we've all been through those.
Could you imagine our shows during
a lockout or a strike? And we've seen it. They've been locked up for an entire season before. And so I guess if you can get the Players Association and the Board of Governors to communicate, you don't have to agree on everything, but if you can get them to communicate, boy, that takes a step in the right direction. Because I remember sitting through this. I lost a year of work over it. And I lost my friends lost their health insurance and struggled to make ends meet, because people couldn't come to the table and communicate. So I think this is a great sign, because the CBA, guess what? Eventually it's going to go away and you need a new one. So I think it's a great step forward in that. I don't think it's any substantive. I don't know the word. It's a big word that I don't use.
Do we even hear what they're talking about?
No, they're just talking.
All this automatically jump to conclusions and say, oh, this is bad.
They just talk. And that's great that they just get them in the same room now, so that 3 years from now, we don't have to sit and fill our shows with mock drafts.
AJ, don't put this in the universe. AJ said, we did shows during a pandemic. We're prepped for shows during a work stoppage. AJ, well,
Buddy.
we'd be calling you on the phone. We're doing a lot of DNVR, PHNX crossover shows.
Here's AJ and Rudo again with a crossover show during the lockout.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully we don't get there. But yeah, interesting. It's definitely this Board of Governors meeting more than any. I feel like there's been a lot of stuff that has people edgy about. But
there's only one reporter there.
I know. Elliotte. And he said he did not like that. Like, yes, he got the...
Of course you shouldn't like that.
He got the exclusive with Gary Bettman, which is great for him. But he, on 32 Thoughts this morning, said, like, I did not like that. And also, he acknowledged, and I feel like we haven't even, just the tough month that it's been for sports journalists and the layoffs at The Athletic. It's just, it's very unfortunate. And
some incredibly talented journalists got laid off at The Athletic.
Absolutely.
Daniel Kaplan, who we were just talking about yesterday, that was reporting on the whole Ballets thing. Incredible reporter. I'm stunned that they laid him off.
Yeah. So it just feels like an interesting time. But Gary Bettman, of course, was asked by Elliotte about the Coyotes as well.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be much new.
No.
But we do have Gary Bettman's comments on an update on the Arizona Coyotes. So let's listen to what Gary Bettman had to say about the latest with the Arizona Coyotes.
They're in the process of exploring the alternatives that they have in the greater Phoenix area, and they do have a number of options. But I think by mid-season, we should have a pretty good handle on what their situation is, and if we need to explore further options at that time, we'll consult with management and figure out what to do. Obviously, playing in mullet has to be a temporary solution, and there needs to be a permanent solution on the horizon, and that's something I know that Alex Morello and Javier Gutierrez are very focused on and very optimistic.
So I think the biggest thing that came out of this Gary Bettman comment that people were getting stuck on was we'll have something by mid-season. Which kind of goes, we've been saying, hopefully by September, by the time they go to Australia. Gary Bettman saying mid-season. So I think that was kind of like, there wasn't really anything new said here than we've heard before, but I think that mid-season comment was the one people were latching onto.
It gives them some runway. I still think the goal is to be able to say something before the season starts, and I think that's what the Coyotes are focused on doing. That just gives them some runway. And listen, it doesn't matter whether it comes out before the season or mid-season, does it? As long as they're, they need to do some things like communicate with agents. Okay, hey, this is where we're going. You can do that privately just to assure them that some progress is being made. But publicly, I know a lot of people would like to hear from Alex Morello. I don't think that's happening. It doesn't change anything materially whether they announce before the season or mid-season, because no decision would be made about the Coyotes' future until after the season anyway.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it with the deal in Tempe. That took a year and a half to culminate into a real plan. And we're talking about trying to create this in 90 days. And I don't know if that's a realistic plan, but I think this now says, okay, if we're saying by December in January, and you go, oh, deep breath. Okay, so, and all it does, Craig, to your point, is people will be sitting there going, wow, it's October 10th, it's the start of the season, they don't have a plan, they should move. This now goes, well, shit, okay, if it's October, November, December, maybe even January, at least now it's not that, oh, you said, well, now you hope to have something by the beginning of the season.
Or it's a negotiation, right? Like,
understand. But you've got, like, to your point, it's a runway now that people can calm down. Yeah. And I'm going to say one more thing, and I'm going to backtrack a little bit. When we started the show with the topic we started with, I know there's some people in our chat and people listening that are all fired up. We're not here to be divisive. We're not here to cause problems. We gave our opinion. We're all here for the same thing. We're all here because we love the game of hockey. So we're not fighting with one another inside the chat. Let's not do that. Like, we're here to support the hockey community in Arizona, whomever that includes.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Well said. And I think as Coyotes fans, we can all agree that we want to see this. I think we're all the community aspect of being Coyotes fans is my favorite part of this job as well. Right. And I think all of us are united in that.
Yeah, as long as you're not excluding someone. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's okay to exclude people. If you're going to exclude someone, I got a problem with you. Don't exclude people. Yeah. That's what I will say.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that the timeline got extended. I think that I'm still very, very optimistic. And Craig, you brought up the conversation with agents. I'll ask you a question.
Yeah.
And you've talked to Clayton Keller's agent. Do you think it's important that those guys hear? We don't hear from the owner and the management. It's important that they hear and they're made aware of the plans as they go forward, even though we may not as fans and outsiders and media personnel. Do you think it's important that the agents and players know?
I think it's a good idea for relationship building to let them know, here's the irons in the fire. Maybe they don't have anything definitive, but they can give them an update. I think that's just smart to do, to communicate like that. To let them know, okay, we understand your concerns. Yes. We care about your concerns, so we're going to provide you with whatever information we can.
Yeah, I'm fine if we're in the dark as long as there's communication in a way that's making the players and the agents happy, because we don't want to get in a situation where, there's unrest and whatever. But it's all very interesting. And the other thing that was mentioned in this video, not showed in the video we showed, but that Elliotte asked Gary Bettman about, first of all, Gary Bettman reiterated that there are no majority stakes for sale right now. So yeah, that's just the thing. The Coyotes are not for sale. And then that always brings it back to Matt Ishbia, which I saw a comment in the chat a few minutes ago about Matt Ishbia. And Gary, Gary Bettman did also say there hasn't been
any conversation with the league. There's been no conversation with the Coyotes either from the Ishbia side. I can say that definitively. Again, this goes back to the idea that the Coyotes are not for sale, so there would be no reason for those conversations at this point.
But have him, Ishbia, saying, I would talk about it, or it's just a conversational, I am. It's not like, I'm actively pursuing that as an outcome.
There literally have been no talks
with
the Coyotes and Matt Ishbia or with the league and Matt Ishbia. Zero.
Yep.
Can I talk about one more thing league-wide?
Sure.
The Calgary exodus.
Because when I look at, and we just talked about Clayton Keller, and we've heard rumors that, Clayton wants to leave because there's no building. Or Logan Cooley doesn't come back because there's no building. The Calgary Flames woke up this morning with a new manager, new head coach over the last week, and now they've got multiple players and their top-end players going, I want to get out of here. And the only reason I want to bring it up, and I don't want to focus on Calgary, it's one, why, and two, if this is just a preview of things to come, if the Coyotes don't find a way to have something done by December, January, February, March, that you go, okay, this is what it could look like. Do you have any thoughts on what's going on in Calgary?
But I mean, I think that's market driven, honestly.
Noah Hannafin wants to go back to the U.S.
Yeah, that's what Matthew Tkachuk wanted. That's what Johnny Gaudreau wanted. They don't want to play. I mean, there's some
financial too.
There's some Canadian markets where they want to play, but like Canada's screaming, give us more teams. You don't have the markets for more teams. Players don't want to play in those markets. So they don't want to play in Quebec. They don't want to play in Winnipeg. They don't want to play in Calgary.
They want to leave in Winnipeg and they want to leave Calgary now. And so I guess my point is, just again back to Arizona Coyote fans. Hang on. Just everybody doesn't want to play here. Just wait. We'll see. I understand the arena situation. I understand where they're at in the rebuild. I get those things, but wait.
Yep. Taxes too, right?
3 years from now, the taxes in Canada are difficult.
Brutal.
The Canadian dollar, difficult. Yep. Like, it's a difficult, and I feel bad for Canadian teams that have to try to compete at a fair market value when the Canadian dollar is so much devalued to the American dollar. I understand that.
If Connor McDavid weren't in Edmonton, do you think Edmonton would be an attractive city?
Nope. He created that automatically on his own. Toronto always will be. Montreal always will be.
Vancouver to an extent, I think.
Yes,
will be.
I do too.
It's a great place to live.
Yeah. Edmonton, as soon as Connor McDavid went there, people go, I want to go play with one of the best players in the world. And I think this is interesting to see this exodus. Calgary. Does a new arena help that? I don't know. Brad Treliving leaving, did that hurt? I don't know. Yeah. Like it's a concern for hockey fans across the northern border to go, oh my goodness, with the exodus, people wanting out of Winnipeg and Calgary, it could be a concern. Yep. Just wanted to bring it up.
As Caleb said, a stampede to get out. But,
wow. That's actually
Caleb,
really good.
That was good, Caleb. And I think on that note, it's time to transition into the more lighthearted section of our show. So let's cheers.
Cheers again. I got my WoW shirt on.
Cheers. Cheers,
PHNX Coyotes community.
Yes.
We may scream at each other from time to time, but
all the good teams.
Like brothers and sisters.
One pack.
Teams do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're drinking our delicious WoW.
We're not arguing about Four Peaks.
Oh my God.
No, sir.
We are all WoW lovers on this show.
I'm latching onto the idea of breakfast beer too.
It does, doesn't it?
You put it in my head.
It's got that fruity sweetness. I could see this with waffles. Strawberries, a little cinnamon, or French toast with the powdered sugar.
Is this your breakfast? That you're
what are we
making,
Petey? Well, we don't know. We have a waffle iron. I'm not bringing a waffle iron to Nashville.
No, but a wow with breakfast.
What do we know? What's
Could we
in
do
this
pictures
Airbnb?
of wow?
We're staying at an Airbnb, by the way, like an all-city Airbnb.
And Craig and I are making
with
breakfast.
Chicago and
we'll
Denver.
be the only two up for like 3 hours.
So we're making breakfast. But I think we should have like pictures. You know, like mom used to put the picture of orange juice on the table. We could have pictures of wows.
Yeah, they're not going to have a waffle iron, buddy. I doubt it.
They have a toaster.
Eggos? Come on.
Now you're talking my language.
You would eat You ate the generic Eggos.
Who's splurging on the real?
So what Four Peaks beer goes with pop-up waffles? I think that's more of a kilt lifter than a wow.
Are we doing
with the
pop-up waffles?
Buddy, we're not doing. Do you think I'm going to subject people to pop-up waffles?
No. That's why I'm hoping there's a waffle iron.
We're doing
There's got to be the right waffle
iron.
iron. I'm not going to kid you.
It's an egg bake.
I've got
cheese,
a Belgian waffle
base.
maker, Sean. It makes 4 waffles at once at home. Yeah. Maybe I should bring it.
It's French.
Okay, all of this is to say...
it's a Four Peaks.
It's Belgian, Jesus.
Just back to Four Peaks.
It's literally in the name.
Bring us back to Four Peaks so we can move on, Craig.
Four Peaks is delicious, and we all love it. We can't agree on waffle types. We can't agree on other things, but we can agree that we all love Four Peaks. So make sure you buy Four Peaks wherever you buy your beer, and check out the H3 Pub. They have amazing food as well. I promise you.
Do they have breakfast?
They do have brunch on weekends.
Yeah,
Do they really?
Yeah.
On weekends, yeah.
With a
What if
wow.
they serve these? Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
There you go.
So check out at Four
Do
Peaks
it.
Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly. If you're a little stressed out by this whole thing, as I kind of am, try OG's. They announced their brand new pink lemonade flavor this week. Sean has already had multiple. I'm not calling him out. That's
Can
the
confirm.
truth.
It is the truth.
Like,
wait,
And
wait,
they're
wait.
very good.
Well,
Like what time frame are we talking here?
It's like
I
the other
had
afternoon.
2.
Well, can I sleep on a plane better?
Yesterday
Probably.
after 2 days. Yeah.
It's indica.
Petey?
It's indica. Yeah.
Petey?
Oh,
So federal crime to take it across
Yeah,
state
you-
lines.
you
So
can't
don't
do
do
it.
that.
Don't
But
do this.
Sorry.
Can you imagine that?
Papa-
Petey getting busted.
but my
That's
go
Sky
my
Harbor.
this is how I travel.
They were crying. The cuffs on me.
You pop a few right before you leave.
Yes.
You're still fine when you're going through security and everything.
Security.
And by the time you sit down on the plane, you're ready
Buddy.
to pass out. You
Oh
wake
my
up and
God.
you're in Nashville.
I'm just gonna
It's the
drink
wave.
some melatonin instead.
I'll just be tired because I'll only have slept 2
I
hours.
never sleep on planes.
All right. OG's doesn't miss when it comes to flavor and effects. So get your pink lemonade gummies while you can. Check out OG's online at ogsbrands.com and on Instagram at ogsbrands. You can also find their products at your local dispensary. Must be 21 or older to purchase. Before we move on to our mock drafts, we have a super chat with, and I think that's
Corona.
Yeah, Corona dollars
Swedish
from
krona.
Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan. Any news on Schmaltz? We need to keep Keller happy, and finding another winger of his quality won't be easy. Craig?
There have been some reports recently that Nick Schmaltz is on the market. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to trade Nick Schmaltz. Nick Schmaltz makes Clayton Keller very happy. They have very good chemistry together. Bill Armstrong wants to take a step forward. I don't think Nick Schmaltz is getting traded. I'll say that.
Wow. I don't disagree.
You heard it here first.
I mean, well, let's continue with Schmaltz just briefly because I want to bring it back around. I agree with that. And anything we can do to keep the best player in this franchise for the last 20 years, let's make him happy, especially right now when we need to get him through the next 2 or 3 years. Because by that time, he'll be really happy when he's looking to his left or his right,
Can we
depending
bring
on
back
which
Connor
side.
Garland just to make him happier? His
Yeah.
good buddy, Connor Garland.
And then you look at
Make
or
me
Phil,
happy too.
Phil Kessel on a discount because I'll make Keller happy too. They can golf together and stuff. But you look and you'll start seeing Logan Cooley and Connor Geeky, and
Yeah.
he'll be very happy. Just gonna get him through this time right now. And if
Mhm.
Schmaltzy does that, Schmaltzy needs to come in healthy, in really good shape, maybe put on a few pounds, a little bit stronger because he can't get hurt. Okay,
Yeah.
that was my Nick Schmaltz.
I agree. Like, yeah.
Look at AJ and his pre-flight edibles.
I know. Love it, AJ. I wish you were coming to Nashville. Nick said this show is mayhem. LOL. You are correct. But let's get into a little bit more mayhem because
Oh, boy.
the headline, the main point of this show is that we were going to do our mock drafts. Did you really think that we were going to do a mock draft?
No.
We're
Because
doing a mock draft.
what?
We're doing a mock
We
draft.
are.
It's a mock draft.
I'm kidding. So
Look
so
at the
here's the
definition
thing.
of mock.
Yes.
Yes.
We didn't say what kind of mock draft we were doing. We just said we were doing a mock draft ahead of the real draft next week.
Yes, we are.
My little aside is we actually are doing a real mock draft, like a real one.
Yes,
An
real.
An NHL
All City.
2023 NHL draft mock draft first round on Tuesday with All City.
AJ will be there.
Yeah.
AJ
Rudo
will be.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jay.
Winnipeg GM, AJ Hafley, right
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
Is he the Winnipeg GM?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
gave him Winnipeg. Of
I
course
got
gave him
Minnesota.
Winnipeg.
I've been trying to
Craig
get out.
really tried to.
I
I
did.
got
the
Minnesota
personal
at 21.
ties.
I've actually called the Minnesota Brain Trust. You think I'm kidding? I swear to God I did.
So whoever PD picks, just know that's who Minnesota's picking.
So the people at Minnesota that I know in their organization said, "Do you really think we're going to tell you?" And if I did tell you a name, you could pretty well be guaranteed that's not who we're drafting. I said, I was just kidding.
Good enough.
So
I know who you're talking to.
So yeah, we
I
are
won't say it.
we
here.
are really doing an NHL mock
Hockey
draft
mock
on
draft.
Tuesday. But today we are doing mock
On
drafts
Tuesday. At what time?
Tuesday.
We don't
9
know.
a.m.
We don't know.
No,
Nashville
we don't know.
We don't know.
No,
Early.
we don't know. We don't know
Okay.
yet.
It's
Just stay
early.
tuned.
But you know, you can if you're not up early, you
We
can
could be
watch it.
hungover, so
But-
maybe later.
Today we are doing a mock draft, just not anything to do with hockey. We thought we would mock drafts by doing that.
So we're mocking drafts.
So we're mocking mock drafts, and we came up with
I
the
do that
idea.
well.
Yes, you do.
Mhm.
This is not the first time we've done
So
this.
why do yeah?
Um,
That's a good reason to mock drafts. And I don't want to mock them too hard because we're actually doing a mock draft.
we are.
So I don't want to mock them too
No.
hard.
No, but we
nobody
just
knows.
want to have.
It
It's
just
Friday.
takes time.
Nobody
Listen,
knows.
Here. Can I say something about mock drafts? Like the real hockey mock drafts
Yeah.
that everybody's literally doing on every podcast in every hockey
Yeah.
show across the country right now. I get it because everybody's trying to fill content. The one thing that it does do, no one knows. Like nobody's doing these shows has seen enough players. Like Craig Button did a mock draft. He's seen the players, but he doesn't know what those players need in the
And he'll even
contract
tell you, I don't know.
and the CBA. So all I'm telling you, what our mock draft is going to do, it's going to get you more familiar with the names that are going to be drafted in the first round, so that when we're live for 4.5 hours talking about players, you go, oh, heard of that guy. That's all we're trying to do is we're familiarizing you with the guys in the top 32 that could be part of the Coyotes organization the next day.
Is that what we're doing?
not
I
today.
just said it.
Okay.
This
Not
tomorrow.
today. Today we're
It's
just
good to know that I
screwing
need to
around
deliver on
drinking
that.
beer at 11 in the morning.
It's Friday Fun Day, so you had to know this is the direction things were going. Nick did. But anywho, so we have all just decided we are going to do our mock draft list, but we are all drafting different things, whatever we felt like.
Yes.
So who wants to go first?
Not me.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
You want to go first?
You go first.
Okay. I can't see it though.
I'll read it.
Okay.
So here's Craig's mock draft list of
Things I will never eat or drink. Number 5, green beans. You had questions about
I
this.
have so many questions.
Hate green beans.
Green beans are
Hate
amazing.
green beans.
Green bean casserole
They make me
goes
gag.
crazy.
But it depends. If we're going to talk about things, like green beans to me, I can eat them out of a can. I can eat them out of a plane and a train and all those things. But I have to have them in a certain style. I can't have the thin sliced French ones. Can't stand them. Won't eat them.
No, those are the best kind.
No, won't eat them. Won't eat them.
You
You
guys
like the
are
thick
so
ones?
weird.
I won't eat them.
The thick ones?
Yes,
That
like the
they're
real-
like branches.
Like cut off the ends. Got to cut off those little hard tips at
Okay.
the end, and you can't julienne or French them. No,
Green bean story.
won't eat them.
Because Sean brought up green bean casserole. My mom made green bean casserole for us as kids. My sister literally threw up in the bowl.
That would probably
that would do
smart
it for
you.
me.
That would-
Yeah,
that
no,
would
that would
be
do it
jarring.
for me. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
number
Okay,
4.
let's
What's
keep-
4?
Yeah.
Number 4. IPAs. No
Yeah,
surprise
no
to anyone.
surprise.
No
Okay,
surprise.
yeah. Yeah. Ketchup on hot
Yeah,
dog. You
no
guys
surprise.
know these. What's number 3?
Ketchup on a hot dog.
Number 2?
Candy corn. I'm with you.
So
I'm
wait.
with you.
I know
Vile.
it's not Halloween, and we'll make a touch briefly. What the is with candy corn?
It's
Does
disgusting.
But who eats corn and says, "We know what we need? We need this in a candy version, like orange slices that you come up with the chewy
disgusting.
orange thing. You get it."
Candy
'Cause they're
corn is
juicy
literally
goodness.
one of the worst candies on
It
the face of
is.
the planet.
And has everybody had a soft one? Because they're all hard.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
'cause
look
they-
like corn. It
they're-
doesn't
like
taste like
stale
corn.
or-
What's the point?
I don't know. It's
So
disgusting.
I only ever eat one piece of candy corn every year, like at Halloween.
Just
'cause
to
that's
do
all
it?
I can eat. The one piece is amazing, but the second one, I
Really?
feel like my teeth are gonna melt out, so I can't.
I haven't
eat
had
more.
one since I was 7.
I don't think I've ever had it because it's
Ugh,
gross
disgusting.
to me.
And what's number 1?
All right, number 1 on my list is beets, and let me. My wife loves beets.
I like
and
beets.
she will put an entire pan of them in the oven and roast them. So
Yes,
as I was
delish.
coming in today, I sent a text message to my 2 kids. How do you guys react when mom roasts beets in the oven? This is Aaron, my oldest, with fear and malice.
Wow.
And here's Cole. Waking up in the morning, hoping that today might be okay. I walk outside and the pungent smell of beets hits me and my day is ruined. I walk out in disbelief and ask mom, is my sense of smell correct? My day is ruined again. My year is ruined. I go back to my room to cry myself to sleep, hoping it was just a nightmare.
So wait.
Your
Cole-
kids are
can I
the
just say
children
this?
of writers and
So
professors.
Cole,
Holy
how
shit.
old is Cole?
16.
That's Craig's kid.
Your kids are your and
That's
Tara's
phenomenal.
kids. That is
Yeah.
hilarious.
That is a
cracking
writer. The vocabulary and grammar.
Right?
I like beets.
Like I can't imagine what Jackson would have said
Golden
at 16.
beets?
You and
It
Tara
wouldn't
would
have
hang
been
out.
Fear and malice.
Fear and malice. That's a
bar.
brilliant line.
Tim said candy corn is what falls from the sky when it rains in hell.
That's actually really good too.
Brady beats
But the one thing about
food- that
Battlestar
is true.
Galactica.
Different foods prepared differently can create different reactions from me. That has and beans is a great example. I
Beets.
won't. Not beets. I
No.
won't eat them anyway. But
Really?
the green
Beets are
beans,
disgusting.
I won't eat julienne, but I'll eat whole. It's just different foods prepared different ways. Egg salad, don't get it anywhere fucking near me. And by the way, don't bring it on a goddamn plate.
Sorry.
It
Don't
smells.
bring egg salad
We'll
on a
wait,
plate.
we'll get to that.
We'll get
Hold
to
that.
that.
Hold on to that
Okay,
thought.
so Caleb, this is hilarious. Beets suck. How do I trust a food that makes me worry something tore inside me? If when you eat beets, your pee is pink. All right. The Friday Fun Day has fully unlocked.
Yeah, you guys are
all
bringing
right,
it in the
I'll go
chat.
next.
Thanks.
So my mock draft is my 5 biggest grammar pet peeves. Coming in at number 5, your versus your. You U''RE. Just think for 5 seconds. Same with my number 4, there, and there. Think for 5 seconds. Number 3, this one kills me. The him and I, like the me and him and her. Like when people say, oh, he's coming with him and I. Is like, is he coming with I? Would you ever say that?
Just take the other part of it out and you
Yeah.
know if you're right.
Yes, because it would actually be. It
Is
would
he coming with I? No,
No.
he's coming with me.
So
So
he's
he's not
coming
coming with Petey and I. Is he coming with Petey and me?
Yep.
Wow.
There it is.
Just take the other
that-
part out.
that-
I just learned
Yeah,
something.
that one kills me. And then the other version
My
of this,
mom
which
was
I
an
didn't
English
put
teacher.
on here,
Sorry,
but
Lou.
it's on line 3. It goes for the same at the start of the sentence because, like, him and I are going to the store. Is him going to the store? No, he's going to the store.
Wow.
So
Yes.
he and I are going to the store.
Look what I learned today. This show is educational.
We are really, yeah. So
That
that's
is
my
brilliant.
number 3.
I'm loving this segment, actually.
That's
as a
brilliant.
writer. I'm loving it.
This-
I have more.
This one, so number 2 is who versus that. This one's undercover sneaky. If you were a
It is.
person, you are a who. If you were a thing, you are a that.
Yes.
So, this is something like, okay, the better one would be like, I'm someone that likes. No, you're someone who likes. You
So,
are a person.
Let me throw a trick at you. The goaltender that or the goaltender who?
That one's tough because it's
It is.
a
To me, it's a person.
yeah.
So I'm going
Yeah,
with who.
yeah.
Or whom. In some cases, who and whom. We don't want to talk about
No,
that.
that
'cause
one
it's not on your list.
That one's tough
Go
for
ahead.
me.
What's your number
And
one?
then my number 1. This one is a shocking number 1. Every day as one word versus every day as 2. This one kills me. When people don't do this right, I get irrationally angry.
So if I do something every day,
It's the second one. If
It's
it,
2 words.
yeah,
if it's everyday
2 words.
people or-
Everyday people. Like when you go to, I forget if it's Safeway or Fry's. Oops. Everyday low prices. That's one
One
word because it's describing something. But if you do
Everyday
something
Coke.
every day,
Everyday people.
everyday
That's a
people,
great song.
everyday
I do that every
beers.
day.
But if you drink
Look at Brady
beer
came up with on
every
the-
day, that's 2 words.
How about
Get it
some of the-
right.
How about some of the idioms that get butchered? Just butchered.
But
For all intensive purposes.
Oh.
Oh.
I could
Oh,
care
that's
less.
not it.
My big one that you left off is 2 versus 2 versus 2. Like 2.
Yeah,
how many?
I mean that goes with the
O's
you
or-
there. I couldn't even
Yeah.
fit them all. I could
But
have
the
done
one thing
10.
good about Twitter, for us that are not great with the English language, is it doesn't matter on Twitter because clearly nothing matters on Twitter.
Fred said, Leah and Craig have my brain in a blender trying to figure out if I speak correctly or not.
I know. Like I'm afraid to talk around here
Oh my
with
God.
me and him and her. And
All right.
So who's next?
Petey.
Mine, surprisingly enough, mine is about stress and anxiety
No.
and things that stress me out. Number 5 is making a list of 5 things that stress me out. That's the first thing that stressed me out. Number 4, it takes us to our trip to Nashville. Sharing a room with Craig has got me incredibly stressed out. Like I haven't slept for 3 days thinking about not sleeping for 4 days. Number
can't
3,
wait.
unfinished work at bedtime. If I have something I have to do for the next day, I literally won't sleep because that's a thing. Traffic goes without saying. Like I've crashed into a mountain a year ago, so we know about Mike. And eating somewhere new, it's not
We
something
all know
new.
this
It's
about
not
you.
something new. It's literally somewhere new. So if we're going to eat in a restaurant in Nashville, and I know it right now, I'm looking at the menu today, 5
Love
days
Night
ahead of
style.
time. I haven't yet, but I will before I get there. I will know what I'm going to order. I will know what I have to ask for specialties on that order. Oh, it comes with that side dish. I don't want that. I will know that before we get on a plane. I swear to God I will. I travel to all NHL cities. I would eat at the same restaurant. I'd try to sit in the same seat. I'd order the same food for 20 years straight. And you think I'm kidding?
Wow.
Ask the people I travel
Have you
with.
seen the movie What About Bob?
It's just, I don't want the anxiety over it. Cordero's, I'm sitting at the 3rd seat from the right end of the bar. I'm getting the salmon, but it comes with fried rice. I'm getting white rice, and it's coming with vegetables. I'm substituting with broccoli, and I will have that every single day, every time that I go to Cordero's. Lunch, dinner, always.
AJ, y'all have taken pack therapy to an entirely different level. And also
Food anxiety. Food gives me more anxiety than absolutely anything. And we've shown that at potlucks. I can't eat.
Yeah,
before I
that's
go to
right.
dinner.
Yeah.
I got food and me.
Except
Is it
except
food
when
and
my
me or
wife
food and I?
cracks the whip and forces you
Food
to eat.
and me
Because Tara did make you eat the
are not
food,
friends.
right?
I am not friends
Oh,
with food.
okay.
He is not.
now
we
we
got
give it
him
another source of anxiety.
Yeah, great. So yeah,
Chris, Petey's stress stresses me out every day.
Wait till
every
food.
day of my
Wait till
life.
we eat till we eat on the road. It's going to drive you insane. Telling you.
Oh my God. Nick said this is more unhinged than PHNX After Dark. You were correct. And also, all the people are trying to piss me off in the chat with bad grammar sentences. All right.
Is y'all good? Like,
Yeah,
AJ, use
y'all's
y'all.
fine.
Y'all's
Y'all
fine?
and you all.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel about yins?
Yins. That's
Oh,
Pittsburgh, isn't it?
Cheryl in
Yeah.
our Discord says that all the time. All right, Sean, what do you got for your mock list?
All right. This is very on brand for me. My list of moral enemies. Number 5, Patrick Mahomes fans. If you know, you know. That's all there is to it. Number 4, the Antonellis. From the Antonellis cheese shop fame from those Capital One commercials or whatever they are. I hate them. They've committed unnameable war crimes, and they're terrible people. I hate the Antonellis and their cheese. Number 3, the Stanford Tree. This is from my Sun Devil days. Again, if you know, you know. It's the worst mascot probably in the history of any kind of organized sport.
It literally is.
It changes every year. It does. It's not a mascot.
It doesn't even matter. It's a freaking tree.
It's
what?
it's
Who
not
chose
a
tree.
It's
What is it
stupid.
like? Are you saying tree of knowledge because it's Stanford? Like I don't care. It's terrible.
And then it
It's
just
a
runs
terrible
around
mascot.
like it's special. Stanford is the most self centered. They think they're special, and they're just a bunch of nerds that think they're cool because they're around a bunch of other nerds
Not
who
like
make them think they're
Syracuse.
cool. Unlike Syracuse, yeah. So yeah, the Stanford Tree. Number 2, the entire state of Utah. Again, if you know, you know. Have you been to the state of Utah? It's pretty, but
There's
sucks.
a lot of Pac-12 hate in here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just hidden underneath undertones.
And then number 1, the koala bears. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, if
Again,
you've watched our
any
show,
animal-
you know.
any population of wild animals that has got like a 98% STD rate, I'm out. I'm out on it. So that's my list
Don't
of my
bring up
moral enemies.
Syracuse again.
Ay, ay, ay. Oh, so those are our mock lists. We all
That's
just
so we mock draft.
we got somewhere in that conversation. We got a dislike on this video, so I'm sorry.
Craig- Craig's still
That
not
was
good
the
over that.
first time. First time.
It's not just the STD, it's the percentage.
The first time last time. Viewer. That was a first time last time viewer.
the person who
They
disliked.
Googled. Oh, I want to hear about
Well,
the
they
Coyotes.
Googled like mock draft was like, oh, they're
Mock
doing
draft
one.
Coyote.
And Sean's like, koalas have STDs.
Yeah, so thumbs down.
Dislike.
I like
turn
to
off.
think that it's either a koala bear, the Stanford Tree, or someone from Utah or a member
Yeah,
of the
what
SNL
else?
family.
Well,
Can't
Brady
please
is Brady is a Chiefs fan, so yeah.
Hey Brady. Well,
And
tell
Brady does live in Kansas City.
tell your friends to
Yeah,
calm
Brady's
down on
Kansas
Twitter.
City.
No.
And I like Kansas. I've got for a lot of reasons. Caleb and I will not Caleb. The Brady and I will talk offline about Kansas City. I love Kansas City.
Yeah, good
Watch
barbecue.
the Royals and
Good barbecue.
Oh
they
my
have one of the
God.
oldest Irish pubs in the country, and I forgot the name of it. Maybe he can help me out.
Today, this has been a very chaotic show, but I've
Oh my
loved
God.
it. It's already 11:45.
The truth is, we are so excited to get to Nashville in the draft.
Yeah.
Cannot tell you.
Yeah.
I want to see the chaos that is this draft, all because of Matt Michkov and what he's going to do to upend the apple cart in the top 5. Does Washington trade up? Does somebody trade down? It's all about Matt Bay.
I have to say that you've used the phrase "upend the apple cart" 2 times in this episode.
In the same show?
Yep.
And I probably never used that term
No,
before.
I've never heard you say it.
I'm trying to be more consciously aware of.
Now now we have you on edge.
I do like to talk.
You want buzz phrases? Is that what you're trying to do?
I don't know.
Create buzz
So
phrases?
I
You
know
I do like breakfast beer though.
Yeah.
Stick with that.
I know a lot of
Arizona's
our
breakfast
show
beer.
today has been, or this section of the show has been in good fun, and we're mocking mock drafts. But sincerely, with AJ who's here, we are doing a mock draft on Tuesday with CHGO with DNVR, and we're very excited. Don't take our word for anything because we don't know anything, but it's just going to be a fun
It's
thing
fun.
to do.
Each individual represents 1, 2, or 3 teams. Is it?
Yes.
Yep.
And we were all going to represent those
San
teams.
Jose, stand up.
Yeah.
I got you.
Bonjour, mon ami. We'll see who I might have. You betcha.
But sincerely, like,
Yes.
this is what I love about our show, because we have our feet on the table, we're drinking beer, like doing this. And then yesterday we interviewed Bob McKenzie. Like,
yeah, fair point.
it's very cool what we get
We
to
got
do
Commissioner
here.
Bettman
What do they
on
call
the
him?
show.
En route.
En route.
Because it's like ON, like Ontario, route. But it's like you're en
I
route.
like it.
Yeah.
See, I like
Yeah.
that. I couldn't remember the name of it when I
Yeah.
was talking to Craig about
That's because
yesterday.
I've been to 1,000 en routes
en
in my day.
routes with their pretentious McDonald's with the maple leaf in the middle of it for no reason. I don't understand that.
Is that
the
number
M?
6 on your
Yeah,
list of
why do
mortal
they why
enemies?
do why do they got to put the maple leaf on the gold
On the
markers?
M.
It doesn't make any sense to me. We get we're in Canada.
Okay.
Like, what's the point? I'm just
Okay.
saying.
Anywho,
Oh,
PHNX.
fuck. It's 5 days.
P-
5 days of that.
I
Vibe
can't
P and
wait
I
to
are going to be in.
Jesus.
Oh my.
All right, PHNX, it's a very unique place, and we appreciate everybody being here. And if you want to join our family, oh my God, we got a second dislike.
That was a Canadian, a Canadian McDonald's executive.
Oh my God,
that might be our show. That might be our record.
whatever. If you want to join our family, become a diehard today. Go phnx.com. Craig has an article up today for diehards only about the goalie the history of drafting goalies
It's
in
unbelievable.
the
Such a
Coyotes
weird history.
organization. So if you want to read that, you got to be a diehard. Becoming a diehard also gets you 20% off merchandise, events. It gets you a free shirt or hat every year at sign up, access to our Discord as well. So consider joining our family. It's a great time to do so, especially with everything we're going to do in Nashville next week, because for all the fun we're going to have and the fun with our diehards on the pontoon boat and the winery tour, we're also going to be, boots on the ground at the draft, boots on the ground at Love and Exile doing a 4-hour draft show. We're going to bring you wall-to-wall coverage of the draft. So I know there's a small group of people, hopefully in this chat now, who are coming with us. But for those of you who are not, we hope that you are subscribed to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel and following us on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes, so you can follow along everything that we're doing in Nashville, because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a very monumental draft for the Coyotes.
And you look at the diehards that are in the chat right now, and Chris is probably one of the ones that I look at. Chris and CWP both, but they pollinate through all of the different teams, and they've really they embrace what a diehard is, and they follow all of the sports and all of the people, and they become friends to people inside of the PHNX community. And to Chris and CWP personally, I think that's what a PHNX diehard.
Yeah, Chris was just in here the other day in our office.
Cheers.
Just stopping by to say hi.
Yeah.
Cheers. We got. Oh,
and she gets what family means.
Speaking of CWP, $6.15 super chat from
He always
Charles.
puts stuff into his 6.15. What's 6.15?
What's 6:15?
We need to know.
Hope everyone
No.
has fun in Nashville. Can't wait to see all the fun shows and hear all the fun stories
See, if it was
when y'all
6
get
and
back.
12, I'd get it.
Yeah,
Maybe
Charles.
you can't do 6:12.
Oh, you might. Sometimes on the phone you can't. I don't know where you're watching,
yeah,
but Charles, let us know. But thank you so much for your super chat. Wish you were coming with, but Charles will be back at BetMGM on the first Friday.
Next Friday.
Because Charles is now an unofficial member of our cornhole team.
Yes.
Because you guys weren't there. So Charles and I had to carry, and we are
That's in a
0-4,
week.
but that's okay.
That's a week
we can
from
still bounce
when we get back.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
God, we have so much content coming up.
We have so much stuff going on.
I think it was the off season. Oh, look at the
Oh, the
615.
Nashville area code.
The
Wow.
CWP's
I
way
knew
deep.
there was something.
That's a rabbit hole.
Knew there was
I
something.
should have known that.
Well, sorry for all the people who are now we've added a third, but that's a bummer for them because they don't get to hear about Illegal Pete's margaritas and how amazing they are. I'm wearing my Illegal Pete's shirt because they actually sell shirts at Illegal
Yes, they
Pete's, and they're amazing shirts, by the way. So you can kick off your week the right way with Margarita Monday at Illegal Pete's, exclusive to Arizona locations, $3 margs all day, every Monday. Nothing brightens up that Monday mood more than soaking up the sun with a few margaritas. And don't forget about Taco Tuesdays, $2 tacos all day every Tuesday. Enjoy your favorite chicken, pork, and veggie tacos for just $2. So swing by and start your week off the right way at Illegal Pete's. I'm excited because we have chips and queso in our kitchen left over from yesterday. So looking forward to
a
that.
vat of them in there.
A vat of chips.
Huge.
The chips, by the way, underrated at Pete's. Very underrated. All right. Well, keeping the chaos alive, we're going to move into our final segment. And I know Craig's itching for this one because he hasn't been here on a Friday in weeks. Weekend Binge. What do you got for us?
The Bear premiered yesterday.
Yeah, I knew that
Season
was
2.
coming.
Watched 2 episodes.
And
I missed that. I didn't know that happened.
Yeah.
and
It's good. It's good writing.
it's great TV.
It's good writing, good dialogue. They're trying some different things. I'm not going to give
Yeah,
anything
don't tell
away.
it.
No,
I'm
not
waiting
gonna
till
give anything
after
away.
the draft
But I had wondered.
because I'm doing that as a family.
Season 1 was constructed around the death of his brother, right? That was the existential
Yes.
crisis that made its way through everything. And I wondered, now that that's gone,
What now?
like, how do you?
We moved on.
Not fully yet, not feeling the tension yet, but there's enough to work
His
with here, and
brother couldn't create
the writing's
tension.
still really good.
It's a great show, and I can't wait to do it. I'll wait for another week.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, and I know we've gone over this before. I sincerely, for the first 3 weeks you talked about it, thought it was about the Revenant, and I thought it was about a bear in the woods. I swear to God I did. I swear to God. I'm not making that up. You kept saying the bear, and I thought you and your family were watching something on Discovery. I swear. I'm going to go, and I'm sticking with BritBox again, and I'm going Rosemary and Thyme, and that's the name of 2 people. Think Murder, She Wrote in Britain, but they, instead of being a writer, they are horticulturists.
Okay.
And it's amazing how many people in Britain need horticulturists to fix their garden and also have someone die. It's uncanny.
Yeah.
Someone's fixing their rose garden and someone dies. Someone's tree is infected with some disease and someone dies. So the horticulturists happen to be there and they solve the murder. Rosemary and thyme.
Gotcha.
Well, you guess what time of year it is,
Love
everybody?
Island.
It's back! Love Island
You have a
season
personal beef with you
10
now.
is here. It started a couple weeks ago. The first 2.5 weeks are on Hulu for all you Americans watching. It's the best time of year. And Craig's kids, I see you.
I know the kids they're in.
That made me, I literally
And Tara.
squealed with glee.
Tara-
yes,
Tara and the kids are in.
Tara. Tara and I will eat beets together and watch Love Island.
Yeah. In an empty house.
Oh my goodness.
DB, what you got?
Well, now I have The Bear. I wasn't fully aware of that. I'm almost done finally reading Moneyball, so I'm going to go rewatch the movie once I do that if I have time this weekend.
Welcome to Oakland.
And I have I've become less and less interested in watching it, but I still think I'm going to give The Weeknd show a new chance. I've heard it's terrible. But
What?
I like him as an
Weeknd.
artist, so I want to watch The Idol on HBO. We'll see.
Have you guys watched Black Mirror, by the way?
Oh,
Season?
no, but I
Don't.
want to.
I almost did the first episode last night and I almost cheated on my wife with it, but I didn't. I waited. Oh, I can't wait.
I
Love
feel
it.
like I've talked about this before. I'm not a huge fan of watching shows that are like dark stuff because life sucks as it is.
I love it.
So that show is very hit or miss with me because I think it's
It's definitely hit or miss.
I think it's amazing,
Yeah.
but there's so often where I turn it on, I'm like, I can't do this right now, and I have to turn the episode
There's
off. That
comedy
happens all
built
the
into
time.
it, too.
They're
this season,
incredibly.
so.
I agree with that. The journey is a difficult one to make it through every episode, but the writing, the thoughts, the dystopian future that it represents, I love that show.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
it.
There's been some phenomenal episodes of it.
And there's
some
been
good
some
ones.
uncomfortable episodes.
There's some
Very,
good ones.
So
very
if you
Episode
haven't seen,
1!
yeah,
Yeah.
if you haven't
Oi!
seen Black Mirror,
Oh, boy.
yes,
Mhm.
just yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as we wrap up here, we are headed on our 5:30 a.m. flight on Monday. And I just got to know from you guys, like we talked about this when you were gone, Craig, about Petey went on his rant about airplane
Yes.
etiquette. But I just want to know, like, and I know this about you because I've actually flown with you before, but what do you do on a plane? What seat do you like? What is your go-to activity? Like, I'm just curious what you guys are like on an airplane.
I need an aisle seat.
Same.
Can't be boxed in.
Same.
Part of that's the old
I like a
Anxiety.
window.
old guy thing. Need access
do
to
I,
a
Leah.
certain
Look
facility.
at that.
Anxiety.
My number one go-to activity is to put my headphones on
Same.
and literally tune everyone the fuck out and listen to music. Don't talk to me.
Or do you ever put them in and not put music on, pretend you're listening to music so you don't have to
Yes.
talk to people? I put them in the second I sit down, whether I have music on or not, and pretend, and I'm bobbing it because I'm not talking to you. Don't talk to me. I don't care where you're going to visit your nephew. I don't give a shit. I'll never see you again. I will never talk to you again. So please don't talk to me for the next 3.5
You're
hours.
talking my language, Petey.
Leave me the F alone.
Yep.
I mean, if I'm going to work, I'm going to work. If I'm going to read a book, I'm going to read a book. Just leave me alone.
Transatlantic flight might watch movies, but again, headphones in. No,
Yeah. The only conversation should be,
Leah's
can you
like,
raise
okay.
the blind? Can you lower the blind? Or
Can I get out to go
Oh,
pee?
yeah.
Oh,
That's it.
absolutely not. If I have a window seat, you better keep your damn mouth shut about the blind. I'm going to do what I want. It's my blind. It's my blind. And if you have a window seat and you keep that shit down as we're landing or taking off, you're a fucking loser. You're a loser.
See, okay, I'm glad you added that because that pisses me off. Like, it's down when we're landing. Can I
Fourth dislike
see?
again. People hate our fucking show today. by the
People
way.
hate me. I feel like everyone's come up when I've been
Every
ranting
time,
about
it
something.
is every time you talk, by the way. Someone hates our show.
Everyone, please hit the like button in
Please
response.
hit the like button, Brady, before you go.
Oh Lord.
Good Lord.
I'm a window seat person.
Okay.
I usually
we
I
won't fight
always
over
put my
that.
AirPods in, even if there's nothing, because I'll sometimes read. I like reading on planes.
No.
I like downloading a show, and then I like sleeping as much as possible.
I can't
Yeah,
sleep.
I can't
on a plane.
I can.
I am a
So,
huge sleeper.
20 years.
Papa
Sean and I will be
UOGs.
asleep at the window, and Petey and Craig will be in the aisles.
20 years of flying with the Coyotes.
this.
20 years flying with the Coyotes, and we could get on a plane sometime at 2 a.m. and land at 6. The equipment guys, they get on the plane, and I swear to God, they're asleep before the door shuts. I can't even sleep. I can't.
I wish I could.
Can't.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has anything to do with my anxiety.
Can
Maybe.
I interest you in some OGs?
Anyway,
Arizona's
there
best
you go.
scratch-made gummies.
All right, one more question before we get off the airplane thing. If you get stuck in the middle seat, are we all in agreement that the
You
middle
should.
We had this
You get both
conversation
hands.
You
while
get
we
both
forgot.
armrests.
Oh, you
Because I
forgot.
happened
You
to
get
me
both
with
armrests.
ESPN.
Both armrests.
Both
Middle seat
arm.
gets middle
No
seats get
argument.
both
Seat gets
armrests.
both.
Yes.
It's bad enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
They get
They're
the
in the middle.
armrest.
Give me the armrest. You
I'm
son
gonna
of
keep my mouth shut. This is crazy.
Right.
We get another
Shut
dislike.
up.
Every time I turn
Every
the
time
mic
he
on, we
opens
get a
his mouth,
dislike.
we
It's,
get a dislike.
it's a cold
Set
world
our
out here.
record. Don't let.
Oh my God, I'm
Is
literally.
Saul here? He better not
I
know.
feel like it's almost shtick at this point.
Yeah, maybe.
God.
All right. Well, for all the people who dislike this, go have some fun. Get out of your house and go to Octane Raceway and Mavericks.
Right next door to the new
See-
Coyote Arena.
Yeah, for real. It seems like you need to have a good time, and there is a good time to be had at Octane Raceway. So check it out. You can book some fun this summer at Octane Raceway and Mavericks. They got kart racing, virtual reality, laser tag, axe throwing, bowling, arcade, great food and drinks, tons of different events throughout the summer. Check out octaneraceway.com and mavericks.com to learn more. And I know we got to get going, but it is day 10.
Really quick. Day 10.
Day 10 of,
Day 10.
of 10 days of Tootsies.
Last day of 10
Oh,
days
yeah.
of Tootsies. And I had to throw in 2. So we're going to go with 2 different. That's 9 days.
No.
Oh,
yes.
Nobody
yesterday.
can see this.
Nobody can see that?
Nobody can see this.
Okay.
But us.
That's stress.
It's
So we
okay.
have 2 different 10 days of Tootsies, and one of them is going to start and revolve around the airport, which we've already discussed a lot of airport stuff. I had a text from someone today on the Coyotes organization. They landed today, and this was the picture I got from someone in the organization as they were getting off the plane at the Nashville airport at 10:30 in the morning today. Is it up?
Yep.
Oh, it's Tootsies at the airport. There is a Tootsies in the airport in Nashville. Buddy, we land at 10:35, and if you don't see, Craig, if I don't see your ass sitting in the seat at Tootsies at 10:35 in the morning, starting the Nashville trip off right, I will be very upset. So that's one of my 10 days of Tootsies. That was an impromptu 10 days of Tootsies at the airport. And here is my proudest moment at Tootsies. I was on stage singing at Tootsies very late after very, very many cocktails. And I got the opportunity to sing with the band, and we sang Dust in the Bottle. And it's about getting old. And it might be a little dust on the bottle. Doesn't mean you get the rest of that. Anyway, that's my proudest moment at Tootsies. 10 days of Tootsies wraps up. We will be at
Wow.
Tootsies, the Orchid Lounge, next week. Can't wait.
Cannot wait. Wow. What a chaotic show. Perfect for our pre-trip adventures. But everyone stay tuned for our Nashville week schedule of shows.
Busy.
It's gonna, yeah, we're still working out some stuff, but just know what you can expect at the very least on the day of the draft. We will be doing a live draft show. We're running it back. Petey and Sean live from Love and Exile. That will be from 10 minutes before the first round until the last pick. So if you're not in Nashville at the draft, you can tune
Second
in
screen
there.
it.
Second screen experience for you.
Even if you're there, sitting in the seats. We got a lot of
Exactly.
people going.
And the other thing is, because Craig and I will be boots on the ground with Shane and Michaela, we're going to get an interview of all the Coyotes picks. You're going to hear from them right away, exclusive interviews that nobody else is getting. So just a ton of great stuff for tuning into that. And then we'll also have our day 2 recap show. That'll be later in the day, probably mid-afternoon here in Arizona time. And we're going to wrap up, put a bow on rounds 2 through 7. Obviously, tons of picks still there. So hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to most of those picks, the ones who are in attendance as well.
Right. Early rounds, guys, will be there.
Yeah.
but-
And we'll be live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yep. And
And
then
Friday.
and then we get back here.
That Friday show, buddy.
that
You
show-
think this
yeah.
one was interesting? Our flight is 5 a.m. Nashville time, which is 3 a.m. Arizona time, which means we're up at 1 a.m. Arizona time, and we're going right from the airport to here to do a show.
I might be wearing my sunglasses. on
That show. Do you
Tell
think
me.
this one was off the rails?
Yeah.
Well, that's after a night literally of not sleeping in
Yep.
Nashville.
Yep.
So
So
stay tuned.
just a lot of great stuff
you a heads
coming. So make sure you're following along. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Hit the like
Yeah,
button
maybe
on
hit
this
the
video.
like button.
not the dislike button. They're different. Make sure it's the
Oh,
like you're
geez.
hitting. Oh my goodness. So hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss when we go live. And of course, you can follow along with us on Twitter. We're gonna be we're live with you there in Nashville at PHNX_Coyotes. You can follow each of us as well. We'll be tweeting at S Peters Hockey, at Leah Merrill, at Craig S Morgan, at Sean_DePaz. Follow PHNX Sports on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. And we're wall-to-wall coverage, as I said. So we're really looking forward to it, and we can't wait to see everybody there, whether in person, in the chat, in our mentions, in the Discord. And again, we appreciate you all so much for being here, for tuning in, for supporting us. We are one pack, one family, and we appreciate you all. So everybody, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. And for those of you who are going to Nashville, we'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.